I tied him up. He didn't speak. He wanted to talk, but talk is cheap. I told him before I gave him the deuce, I had to bring him the truth. Then he'll know why we couldn't have a truce. I told him my king died, but he blew the Grim Reaper a kiss when he saw death in the eye. And what he did next would prove he was a misfit. Let's say he's the type of man that'd put a funeral home out of business. They say he casted out demons with the help of demons, not divinity. That makes no sense, like saying you're prideful of your humility. Cause he committed no crime. And even though he was whipped many times, all the scars he received were actually healing for minds. And this is what the cross illustrated. In order for a man to be purified, Christ was contaminated. But this was all part of his design. When he took his last breath, it wasn't the end of the game, it was halftime. Cause Jesus proclaimed Judas was a snitch, so darkness covered the sun like a solar eclipse. He was in the grave for 3 days like Jonah in the fish, but he was clutching the fourth like Jordan with the swish. Cause people fought death, but I seen them all lose. But he rose like my blood pressure when I see stains on my new shoes. And Jesus didn't resuscitate, he was resurrected. So the skeptics who hold to the swoon theory need to change their perspectives. Cause they say on the cross he passed out, was in trauma for 6 hours, in a coma for 3 days, and he walked out. Isn't this contradicting? They put a spear through his side, yet he still was alive. Is this logical thinking? That's why I constantly say there's only one way. Because without the resurrection, building a church wouldn't work like Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. So now salvation is complete. Death tasted defeat. The cross was the payment. The resurrection is the receipt. It's a stamp notarization. What more could we ask for? We're heading to the New Jerusalem. The resurrection's our passport. His life opened my eyes. His blood is the new drink. My anatomy's gonna rise. His body's the blueprint. Your agenda is full of lies. Propaganda you advertise. Leave victims paralyzed. Now tell me what you think. And as he was shaking in his seat, he made a transition. Looked me in the eyes and said, but what if Jesus hadn't risen? And he was popular, a man with good advice, a gossiper who caused a lot of strife, a philosopher who barks but never bites. But if he rose, then Christ is the resurrection and the life. And the proof that he is that the church still exists. So you're gonna have to find a new 9-to-5 shift. And if you still don't understand, let me paint you a picture. The resurrection is the cardiovascular system of the scriptures. You see, his substitute made his saints look like the purest. And his resurrection isn't my insurance, but my assurance. So I'm gonna untie you now. But understand you're not my friend. And when I release you, I never wanna see you again. Cause you've lied long enough. This is the end of your show. And that's exactly when I let the Easter Bunny go.